Welcome to Meet Me at the Deli, a food advice podcast where the pickles and slaw are always free. I'm Liz.
And I'm Jeffrey. Every episode, we're answering your burning food and culinary questions, and we're sharing stories and insights from years working in the industry and living in our self-made shtetl.
So, Jeffrey, hi.
Hey, Liz.
How are
nice
you?
shirt.
Thank
Sammy's,
you.
Romanian.
Yes, this was a gift. Isn't it a great shirt?
A classic.
Gotta shout out delis. Gotta shout out the deli universe.
Yeah.
Sammy's not a deli, but in the deli universe.
I also know that you're a sucker for swag. You love free swag.
I love free swag. Send me your swag.
Yeah.
Okay, so couple things that are on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
We just confirmed that we are going to be doing a live taping of Meet Me at the Deli at the Borscht Belt Festival on July 26th in Ellenville, New York.
Very exciting.
I am so excited because we love the Borscht Belt. Full stop.
Liz, what is
Full stop.
What is the Borscht Belt?
The Borscht Belt is it's a region of upstate New York that that once was the vacation destination of New York City's Jews and many other communities, by the way. But it was a string of hotels, retreat centers, bungalow colonies. And it is famously known for a couple of things. This region that really thrived around 1920s to 1960s, I would say, was the heyday. These gorgeous hotels, the Nevele, which some of you may have been to. These were hotels that were known for incredible comedy and huge portions of food. Huge portions of food. We're talking about breakfast, not even breakfast buffet. Forget the buffet. You had these waiters that would carry out trays, anything you wanted. You could have poached eggs, scrambled eggs, pancakes, 17 kinds of juices. That's just breakfast. You know what I mean? It was multi-course meals, and these were very Jewish places. I know my father was a waiter in a hotel.
Which hotel was he in?
The Pines.
Okay.
And your family vacationed at?
We had a lot of there was a Yaskowitz family farm in the Catskills. I don't know if you know that.
I don't.
My grandmother and my great aunt Yetta were the social coordinators at the Vegetarian Hotel up in the Catskills.
So good.
And I, growing up, I even went to Kutcher's, which was one of these.
Kutcher's is the classic.
One of the classics, and we went up there one summer. I got a taste of it. It's just sort of like I got a taste of Mrs. Stahl's knishes on the in Brighton Beach. I tell the old timers I've been there. Do you know what my favorite term for the Borscht Belt is? Like the region, the sour cream Sierras. Yeah. One of the existing terms there. Yeah, we both have these connections to this place. And the Borscht Belt Fest, by the way, is put on by the Borscht Belt Museum.
Yes.
And the museum, we've been connected to the museum. We've been at the Borscht Belt Fest. And
multiple times.
It's telling the story of this region and this really particular slice of Jewish immigrant American history. And so it's what a fitting place for us to Meet Me at the Deli, to this community, to this place, and to have some really good conversations while we're there.
Yeah, and I just would say, for me, any excuse to be upstate New York in the summer, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
but you were mentioning that you got a cool text from a friend.
I got a phone call from my friend, a friend of mine, my friend Clarence from college. So if you remember last episode, we had Adam Chandler on as our guest.
Loved it.
We talked, we had a question about celebrity sandwiches. And at the end of the conversation, I don't remember if it was you or him, and you said, let's all have an idea of what our celebrity sandwich is. What
is our sandwich?
If you were to go to the deli and order the Liz Alpern, what would that be, right?
I want it.
Yeah.
I want it.
So first off, I did not have this answer. I struggle with the concept of favorites. Like what sandwich would I choose? You may not know this about me, but when I was in high school, every day I made a different sandwich. I wrote my college essay on creative sandwiches. So choosing a favorite that would represent me.
I knew you had trouble choosing. Yeah. I did not know that you had a sandwich every day.
Big part of my identity. That said, I got a call from my friend Clarence, who listened to the episode and called me up just to tell me, guess what? I know my sandwich. And so Clarence called.
Clarence
gave me his sandwich. So you ready for it? Okay. A white bean hummus, ricotta salata, roasted, like a thinly sliced roasted eggplant on ciabatta.
Wow.
So, and Clarence has Italian heritage, so you can kind of hear it in the sandwich.
That's a Italian veganified sandwich. For me,
ricotta salato. There's cheese.
Oh, right, there's cheese. Okay, so vegetarianified. Yeah, what's intriguing to me is that it's intriguing that someone would say white bean hummus is part of their celebrity sandwich. So Clarence, bless you.
And Clarence's partner shared their sandwich as well. So, ready for this one? Rye bread, hummus, pickles.
How?
I feel like it doesn't know what is its ethnic identity, the sandwich. But
no, but you don't have to know.
I appreciate it. Like, you got some crunch from the pickles. It's simple, easy to pack for a picnic.
I'm just going to say I like both of these sandwiches.
Yeah.
They are not... Like Larry David would not want anything to do with these sandwiches.
No.
You know what I mean? There is no fish. It's like all wrong.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I feel more stumped than ever. Like I didn't even think about the universe where there was like white bean hummus on my sandwich, my celebrity sandwich.
I was delighted just to I was like, Clarence, thanks for doing my homework for me. I don't have to come.
And listening to the end.
And listening to I'm like, you listened all the way through. So I loved that. So I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you, Clarence. I love that. I, too, got an amazing text from someone, and I want to share it with you.
Ooh.
Yes. So you might recall our episode, What About Pasha?
How can I forget?
Right. Pasha, it just doesn't go away. We do a whole episode of our podcast, and it follows us. So here's this amazing text I got from my friend Leora. She said, poking around the internet, she did not know that we had this show, and your show came up, and I saw the episode about Pasha. And I had to listen because my father talks about Pasha, all caps, all the time. He has talked about it for as long as I can remember. Sometimes as a memory, sometimes as a joke, sometimes just to root a conversation in something Jewish. And he knows that will make the person feel connected to the olden days.
Wow, it's beautiful.
So she shared a little bit more about sort of using Pasha as a way to connect with her dad and sharing the episode with him. But also because she was like, I never took it seriously, and I finally got it.
Wow.
So thanks, Leora, for sharing that. It was very moving to us. And thanks for listening to What About Pasha? And if you haven't listened to that one, you might be intrigued to listen now.
An instant classic. Okay, well, that was amazing. That's so beautiful. Okay, let's get into some questions.
Let's do it. All right, we got a lot of good ones today.
Okay, why don't I read the first one?
Hit it.
Okay, this is from Jess in Manhattan. I love Jewish deli food and other Jewish food in general. I particularly enjoy noodle kugel, in parentheses, the sweet kind, brisket, knishes, latkes, matzo ball soup, pastrami, pickles, and challah. Loving this list here. However, I have so many food sensitivities, allergies, and limitations when it comes to food. Where in New York City can I find a place that is super allergen safe and will make modifications and accommodations to us Jews with gut issues? Considering most Jews have gut issues, I'm always surprised by the lack of this. And that's it. So the question here is, what about people with food sensitivities?
Right, what about that? Right.
So Liz, anything that jumps out at you? Any thoughts? I have some thoughts here myself.
Yeah, I have so many thoughts. Where do I even begin? I thought about this question a lot, and this is something that people ask us a fair amount. It's not uncommon for people to have food sensitivities, food allergies. They're on an elimination diet. They're doing something, but they still want to hold on to a flavor or a taste that is meaningful, traditional, reminds them of childhood. And so this is something that comes up. A few immediate thoughts are that in this world of newer delis opening for a younger crowd, I definitely see more on the menu that is allergen friendly. So I would just say generally, I've seen more delis, maybe not a Katz's, but more of the new delis having gluten-free bread on the menu, right? I'm seeing them do even labeling things, right? Which can be really hard at a classic institution. They're not necessarily labeling things, right?
Yeah.
I'm seeing some of those items being highlighted. I'm seeing something like a latke, which is easy to be gluten-free, being made gluten-free.
It rarely is, though, actually.
But it's not hard to do it. So you're seeing it a little bit more, But yes, it is rarely that. But what I guess I'm seeing is more of that happening. I'm just seeing a general in the newer delis that are opening up. We are also seeing a movement toward vegan delis. That we've seen, which does not always solve food sensitivity issues, right? That does not mean that you're going to have gluten-free, but we are seeing like in Rochester, grass-fed Rochester, right? We're seeing in Brooklyn, in my neighborhood, there's a deli called ATM Vegan Deli.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's kind of like a counter that you take things out. There's not like a sit-down.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a Jewish deli. It's a little bit more like a deli, but there are referential things. So there's like a mushroom sandwich, and they definitely have gluten-free bread, and they're making sure they fry their fries in oil that's like clean oil, right? So it's like there's things that are happening. Morton Betty's in LA doing a lot of stuff.
I mean, I'm thinking Orchard Grocer on the Lower East Side, which is a vegan.
Yep.
It's not quite a deli, but it's like on the Lower East Side.
Yep.
They're doing sandwiches, they're creative,
there, yes.
and it happens to be vegan, but it's also doing like very vegetable forward, alternative kind of things.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying lean into like the new bougie gentrified deli.
I think for me that is my first response.
Okay. So I would say I think this is super real. Like I'm not even thinking about answering the question as where to go as much as like what to do about these sensitivities and what So I will say yes. So many people in my life have various food sensitivities of all kinds. I should mention my grandma Lily, the one who went to the vegetarian hotel in the Catskills. Not only was she
Borscht Belt.
a vegetarian, she dealt with many medical issues and health issues, and she was a health purist. Like
this was your father's mother?
My father's mother.
Okay.
Really eating healthy. She did not want my dad going to the deli. Like going to one of the famous stories in the family was when my father up in the Catskills at the vegetarian hotel. He and his father, who I'm named after, Grandpa Julius, they got in the car and they drove to Kaplan's in Monticello, and they got a hot dog and knish, and which
totally
my love of hot dogs
yes.
and knish. They came back, and he always said he snuck away. I said, Dad, couldn't she tell? He's like, she could smell it all over us.
Oh my God!
But so she went to this vegetarian hotel, and the question is where to go out to get these foods. But what I'm actually hearing is, the Jewish foods, the delis aren't so healthy, but actually. The deli, my grandmother not liking my father going to the deli is actually similar to a lot of Jewish mothers who didn't want their kids going to the deli because the deli wasn't a place to go get healthy foods. It was a place you got, cured and salted and smoked nitrate-full foods. This wasn't the good healthy food was at home. So the annoying answer to Jess is the best place to get these things is at home. Yep. And a lot of these traditional foods, eating your live cultured pickled foods, having your nourishing broths and soups.
Right. Matzo ball soup is it's just matzo ball soup.
Yeah, there's a lot there. Eating your gluten-free roasted buckwheat kasha. These things are actually, there's a lot of gluten-free stuff.
Yeah.
In our cookbook, we have a kasha buckwheat bread. So there's a lot of ways. There's actually a history of nutritional gut-friendly foods within the Eastern European Jewish canon. The deli isn't the best representation of that. So I just want to get that out of the way to say. And so and my grandmother was someone who cooked a lot of those foods at home. Sometimes, they weren't always the best, the most flavorful. My grandma Ruth is known for the better cooking, but she was able to eat a sensitive diet and still kind of be in keeping with this Eastern European Ashkenazi Jewish approach.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's gluten-free who just had a baby, and I made as sort of my meal for them in their meal train. She really wanted latkes, but all the latkes nearby were always filled with gluten. So I made gluten-free latkes, and she was so delighted. It was so easy. I just potato starch. I didn't put any flour, no breadcrumbs. It was really easy. So I would just say consider thinking about making some of these foods on your own. Not too complicated. We can provide some recipes. But secondly. Go to the deli, and if you order kasha, not with the varnishkas, not that varnishkas are noodles, but not with the bow ties, and you just get kasha and mushrooms. You
delicious.
A wonderful, wonderful treat. You get your chicken soup, no noodles, no matzo balls. Have it with some kasha in there.
It's great.
Or have
good.
Have it just with vegetables straight up. Listen, you don't need the bread for the pastrami. Just go. If you go to Katz's, sometimes it'll slice some pastrami for you. There's nothing.
It was like in our last episode with Adam. You just meat into face.
Exactly.
Remember that?
Those live cultured pickles, your sauerkraut. Those are so good for your gut. So there's ways to explore that gut health. You just might have to be the annoying patron at the restaurant. But guess what? half of the deli are annoying patrons. Think about all of the people scooping out bagels on Long Island. Or dare I say South Florida? Think about all the low-fat pastrami orders that are out there. We're already annoying.
It's
the
so
deli
annoying.
owners. Just
so
be
annoying.
annoying. Just
so annoying.
Yeah.
I love it, Jeffrey. I love it. I love these two sides of our answers. This is great. And I would say ultimately, some of what I hear in this question is a sort of like yearning for a way that maybe Jess used to be able to eat and can't eat. And I hear that, and that's real. I have uncles who all had heart attacks, and you know what? They don't eat at the deli anymore, right? It's like they don't eat that food anymore. And I know they've like that's a thing. It's like you're yearning for something that maybe you can't have anymore. And so you have to kind of do your best and have it in doses in whatever way your body can take, and know that like that is hard. Just like you yearn for a recipe that someone used to cook for you, that is no longer with us. That's food.
What I think will be fun, by the way, is if we put like an anti-inflammation or like an allergen-free, like some of the recipes that we love. I'm thinking like
check the show notes.
Like
We're
a
gonna
nourishing
do it.
borscht, things like that.
Yeah,
we got some great stuff there.
We got some good stuff.
And so Jess, we'll be in touch with some recipes.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. Great question. And would also actually love to hear anybody else's take on any of this, because I think it's a really interesting question. If there's any spots we missed, let us know. By the way, if you have a question, don't forget to submit it to us. We love a question.
Hey.
DM us. There's a form in the show notes. Fill out the form in our link in bio. Check it out.
Liz, you're so good at remembering to
I just want those questions. I'm feeling it.
Okay.
Okay. Shall I read our next question? Okay. What makes iconic foods like challah Jewish if their origin was German? From Lainey in Tampa. I'm just ready for Jeffrey to unleash.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to unleash.
No. What a great question.
Okay. It's a great question. So I think let's just provide just like a little bit of context here, which is that Lainey from Tampa is implying that the origin of challah really is a German bread, not an explicitly Jewish bread. So what makes a food Jewish? I think that's the question.
Yeah, this is a great question. We actually have a debate. We've had an ongoing debate for years about our so even just the term Jewish, right? I think we tend to use when it's a specific food. Like let's just talk about kasha, for example. We'll often say, Eastern European or Ashkenazi Jewish, but in challah, I can say that's one of those foods that now has kind of transcended ethnic identity. It's become, if you go, around the world, within Jewish culture, challah has become so ubiquitous. It's been embraced in some ways. It's become part of this like extended Jewish. So I would say that you can really make the case that just from a descriptivist perspective, you go to any community around the world, and most of them, maybe if you go to Ethiopia, it might be different. You go to India, but most places around the world, challah will be served on the Sabbath.
Origin or not, it is there. Yeah. It is omnipresent.
Anthropologically speaking, Anthropologically speaking, it's a complicated approach to take. So I celebrate Christmas every year by eating Chinese food in the Jewish style. And to me, like, that is a Jewish ritual. It's not a Jewish food, right? But so it becomes complicated. I love this question from Lainey because I think about this all the time. And I tend to think that there are very few foods that have any Jewishness inherent in them.
Right.
It's the feeling we get from these foods that we ascribe to them that make them like this. So the example, challah is a good example. Can you guess the example I like to use?
Pickles.
Like, I grew up.
Come on.
And did you grow up thinking pickles were Jewish?
Of course.
Yeah. I grew up thinking pickles were like the most Jewish food imaginable.
Right. Lower East Side, barrels, kosher dills,
crossing
pickles.
the Lancey.
Hey.
Right?
You're at the deli. Boom, pickles.
Yeah, pickles on the plate. It's just part of the everyday. And guess what? Well, all around, the world, people eat pickles. But when I went to Poland for the first time, every single meal, pickles, and all the Poles, they were eating the same kinds of pickles. Sour, they got their half sours. They were eating sauerkraut with every meal, and this thing that felt so much a part of my Jewishness and my Jewish identity, this food that felt so Jewish, was also Polish. It was also Lithuanian. It was also Hungarian. It was also German. And I really had to contend with that. What actually is Jewish about these foods? And it turns out like very little. It's just, the many Jewish picklers and immigrants came and started selling pickles, and we became identified with them. Challah, like the joke I always make is if you go and get some brioche at Trader Joe's, it kind of tastes just like the challah. Sure, there's butter and there's some dairy in there. It's kind of just brioche, braided, and it's dairy-free. So that's kind of my take on it, and that maybe it's simplifying it.
No, I don't even know if it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm with you on this, and there is this argument to be made that there are some foods that have a fundamental Jewishness to them. Among them, matzah, right? Yeah. Which is you go, it's just a cracker. We've been through this already, Jeffrey. It's a cracker. It's a thin, crunchy cracker. Everybody has a cracker.
Or a flatbread.
Or a flatbread. Yeah. But a matzah needs to be made in a certain amount of time, and it is also ritualized. So it has this double whammy that, like, you see it. But you're absolutely right. If somebody just saw that on the table and didn't know any of the context of how it was made, they would absolutely could just say, it's a cracker, it's a flatbread. Sure. But there's more to the story with matzah. Right? That's what people say.
Yeah, listen, I hear you.
They say.
I hear you, and I think that the word that you said there, context, is everything here.
Yes.
And so I think about, I think about being in Scandinavia and there being all this smoked fish everywhere, and there being herring, and I was in Stockholm and I went to the markets.
Salmon, herring, it's amazing.
Yeah, and these are all these things that I associate with being Jewish, right? In New York, you go to Russ and Daughters, you go to your Shelsky's in Brooklyn, your appetizing shops. And so I go there, and there's all these smoked fish and things, and there's pickles and everything. But you know what was missing? Bagels and schmear. And I was like, what am I going to eat this smoked fish on, right? And so, even though, so there's something about the lox, the nova, the herring, and there being on at a luncheon after a kiddush,
right? And it is Jewish.
And being on a bagel with the Italian capers, like nothing in that sandwich besides the bagel itself really can claim any Jewishness. And even the bagel, there's questions, right? But the together and the context in which we eat it, the experience is what makes it, and the way that we love it. Like the joy that you bring. So to me, it's that joy that comes with like the familiarity and the love and the obsession with some of these foods. And like challah, like we're obsessed with challah. Like
obsessed.
I saw a woman wearing challah, a necklace and challah earrings the other day.
And her dog was named Challah. It was so weird. So I think I am aligned with you. I always push back a little bit on the matzah thing, maybe the cholent thing, the slow cooked Sabbath stew, very particular. It's not just a stew; it's something else. However, I think that like what we come across a lot in our work is people saying things like they want to know the origin. They want to know, where did rugelach come from? Where did bagels come from? And where did a knish come from? And we can answer as best as we can, right? And we have lots of historical information about all of these things. But we can't, I feel what I always have to say is you're never going to get as satisfying of an answer as you want, because these are not single origin foods, right? These are not foods that come from one specific place and time. These are foods that clearly evolved, changed. There were Jewish and non-Jewish hands on them at any given moment. They didn't, they weren't like somebody said, and now I've created the knish and this is what a knish is. It's like, it's dough wrapped with stuff, right? Like that didn't happen. So I always have to tell people when they want to know the origin of a food, I'll say, I'll tell you as much of the story as I know, but there's so much of the story I don't know. First of all, there are historians whose job it is to dig in, and even they can only know as much as they can know, right? So for me, that is also important in this question, is that no one can anyone really claim anything? Yeah, there are times and places that people can claim things. But in this context, when we know that Jews have moved from place to place, assimilated, lived with their neighbors, have brought ingredients from here to there and combined them with ritual practices, to say that really anything is Jewish is a little bit problematic. Without the context, without the rest of that story. So in America, pickles are Jewish because Jews popularized them here, because they're called kosher dills at your standard grocery store. But is a pickle Jewish?
So,
no.
I appreciate what you said, and I'll just say a couple things. One is I think what we struggle to appreciate is that Jews were the popularizers of a lot of these foods. We were the spreaders, the transmitters.
Right.
So,
right.
So in New York, while pickles were enjoyed by many, they were popularized here. I mean, there were Dutch immigrants beforehand who brought
German
pickle traditions, and
immigrants.
Germans, but they were really popularized in the New York consciousness, right, by the Jewish community here. That said, when I went to the Rosendale Pickle Fest in 2008, and I was there with lacto-fermented sour pickles, I was in a sea of vinegar brine pickles, and it was the least Jewish place that I've ever been. And
the least Jewish place he's ever been.
And here I was, like the only with the only Jewish pickle in the bunch.
Right. And you're at a pickle festival.
I'm at a pickle festival. And
we should go.
So the thing is, I think that there's a whole pickle culture and tradition in the South, in the Midwest, that has nothing to do with Jewishness.
Absolutely.
It's this particular style of pickling that we have here in New York that makes a lot of Jewish people feel, hey, this is me. But it makes other people feel like it's them too. And I think we need to hold that too.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting. Lainey, great question.
Cool question. Could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
Definitely have. All right. We got one more today.
Okay. So this is from Aliza in Brooklyn. I see a lot of schmear options, cream cheese, schmear options, and I'm not sure how I feel about them. Sweet seems straight up wrong. Thoughts? And I appreciate the simplicity of this question. It's very New York insidery. It's like not even mentioning that at a bagel shop, there's no context.
Just around. There's a lot of options around.
At bagel shops, there are a lot of sweet cream cheese varieties.
Or just, I don't think it's just the sweet. The sweet seems straight up wrong, but we can say, you're there. There's olive pimento. There's za'atar cream cheese. There's, your vegetable cream cheese, chive cream cheese, salmon cream cheese, blueberry cream cheese, strawberry cream cheese, honey walnut cream cheese. There's crazy cream cheeses. So many cream cheeses.
Yeah. How do you feel about those?
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm with some friends the other night, and they're telling me about how they love blueberry bagels. Two of them, close friends of mine. And they know me well enough. And they say, Liz, we know you don't approve. We know you're not comfortable with us liking blueberry bagels. But then you know what they said? They said, Liz, have you ever had a blueberry bagel?
Whoa.
And I was like, no. So then, this is 48 hours ago. This just happened. And I had to think about this. And they said, Liz, try it. Just fucking try it. And I think the schmear thing might be the same. I think that maybe I look upon those sea of schmears, and like Aliza, I judge them. I'm like, who would want all of these flavors of schmear? But do I get them? Do I try them? What if I like them? And like, is that a betrayal to me? What do I think? Like, am I just holding back on principle? You know what I mean? Like, why can't I get past a poppy bagel with chive cream cheese, with scallion cream cheese? And lox.
Yeah.
Like, can I go? And it's like, I won't go further than that. And when you're at a party and they have them, they're always just going to have the cream cheese, the standard, and maybe some lox cream cheese and maybe some scallion cream cheese. So it's like, you don't even get the chance to try it.
Wait, did you not eat a blueberry bagel?
No, we weren't at a bagel shop.
Oh.
We were at a bar.
But then you like...
I haven't had it yet. This just happened.
I'm going to propose, first off...
Tomorrow I do it?
No, you do it here.
Oh.
You do it in the podcast studio next time we record,
okay,
or
I'll
at a
do
future
it.
time. Okay,
I'll do it. Fine.
Okay, I've had a blueberry bagel. I can speak to that.
You have had it.
So you know what? I will say a couple things. I'm like tired of all of the bagel purity. Like there's a lot of bagel purity out there. I feel it myself. Like all I really want, like even though
it's interesting you say that, because I feel like you're a little bit of a bagel purist, but okay.
No, I am. Like I'm an obnoxious bagel purist. Like I hate myself. Why can't I just enjoy a honey walnut cream cheese on a
like you would put honey walnut butter on bread and feel fine about it.
Yeah. It's kind of a funny thing. So it's such a beautiful craft, and I respect it so much. And I want I want what I want. I want maybe a poppy seed, maybe a sesame, like usually an everything bagel. And I want a savory cream cheese, right? I want that.
You want the savory, sure.
I usually like one with an allium of some kind. So maybe it's chives, maybe it's scallions of some kind.
Yeah.
But like I've had dills and other playful nods to the tradition. Like that's for me, that's like the most creative I'm going to get. Like dill, like dill and the cream cheese. And then I want, of course, I want lox or nova, some tomato. Like I want the classic. That said, if we just think about it, take a step back and say it's just like bread,
the breakfast sandwich,
and it's people want sweet, and like I've had these sweet cream cheeses, and they are flavorful. So I want to have space as an obnoxious bagel purist in my life for people who like blueberry bagels with sweet cream cheese. And I can think back to a time of my life when I was in high school. I spent a summer at the University of Michigan and doing one of those summer programs.
Yes, of course.
And the only bagel place nearby was the Einstein Brothers Bagel Shop.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of these Midwestern chains. I think they have them maybe all around the country.
Yeah, I've seen them.
And so, I didn't know. Even though I came from this world of New Jersey bagels, I didn't know better. And I ordered the Asiago bagel, and I liked it. And it was the first time I had it. And I had a honey walnut.
It's salty. It's good.
I had a honey walnut, like sweet cream cheese.
On an Asiago bagel?
No, on like a different bagel. Like a different. I wouldn't. Okay. I knew enough then.
Okay.
And like,
yeah,
listen, I knew what I was doing I wasn't going to the Bagels for You in New Jersey where we used to go with the Bagel Chateau in Maplewood in Milburn. But I'm like, it satisfied something, and like that's what most people get access to. That's what they know. That's what's interesting to them. And I think about your friends who had a bagel shop in Kentucky.
Yep.
Who and people came and said, "Oh, I'm here for the Jewish donut."
Yeah.
And they came, they didn't know. And of course, they expected it's like a donut. They want something sweet. I want to have a place for them, even though I find it abhorrent, the idea of these foods, these sweet cream cheeses.
So our hot take is we need to open our minds.
Yeah. I do think we need to try a couple of sweet bagels and cream cheese.
On here.
Yeah.
Okay, because I am going to Long Island tomorrow, so I'm like, should I try something tomorrow?
Maybe you should just try it.
Just try it tomorrow, and I'll bring it to you.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
I'm just saying, if I'm going to Long Island, I should probably get a bagel.
Maybe you should scoop it out or get a flagel.
I actually always get a flagel at the place.
I mean, like, and
I do. I love a flagel.
Let's also just say this is how these foods evolve, and like we may not always like these evolutions. And that said, like things like the cinnamon raisin bagel, which we discussed a few weeks ago. That was an invention of Lender's. That was a modern American bagel innovation, but it had reminiscent flavors. So I think it got grandfathered in.
It got a pass.
But blueberries, those are a big piece of Polish history and culture too. So and part of the shtetl, and so maybe we just need to be I think we need to be more open-minded, and I think we need to have more love in our hearts.
And you do too, Elisa in Brooklyn. Yeah. You sound a little judgmental about the bagels. Okay. Very good. That was fun. I'm going to bring us some sweet bagels next time. That's fun. Amazing.
Okay, Liz, we did it. We're here. We're at our Kvetch Kvel share segment. Okay, we're sliding into the vinyl seats. We have the chance to kvetch or kvel about something that's been on our minds. Maybe we have something to share with the other one.
Yes.
Just, something we brought for each other. So this is it. This is the moment. I've got something for you, and I've got something to share.
Well, I've got something for you.
Oh.
I don't have anything to share.
Okay.
I just got something for you. So I'll give you mine first.
Okay.
So as you might know, my beloved Shira just came back from Japan. And she was in Japan officiating a Jewish wedding in Japan. Very cool.
Classic experience. That most people do, yeah.
1 week in Japan. And she brought, of course, an empty suitcase with her to fill up with food to bring back.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of noodles, lots of ramen, lots of fun treats.
The matcha, too?
Yes, and a matcha salt, which I have yet to try. I'm very excited. Yeah. Very interesting stuff. She has a close friend who's Japanese, so they went to the grocery store together, and really, it's a real treasure trove. And she even brought you something back, Jeffrey, because she knows that I had told her that you did an exchange program to Japan in high school,
Yeah.
I believe it was. So she brought back this adorable carton of soy sauce. First of all, how cute.
That is adorable.
Is it not the cutest?
Oh, my God. And I love small, cute things, as you know.
It's so cute. It has like it's like a little milk jug kind of thing, and it's a dashi soy sauce.
Ooh.
So it has like bonito in it, and it's delicious. We did check to see if there was any shellfish, and there is not. She had a translator app. We checked it, and anyway, it's super vibrant, and you definitely can't get this in the United States. So enjoy it. And use it for all your soy sauce needs.
Oh my gosh, Shira, thank you, and thank you, Liz. What a wonderful! Oh my God,
Come on, when you go across the world, you got it. You know, you can get some things in New York, but you can't get everything.
Listen, I love this, and that was, I will say, like, what an experience. You know, to be there in high school. But the thing I didn't know then was that you bring a suitcase back with food.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known that in high school.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've got something for you, but it's don't be too excited.
I'm so excited!
Okay, I have the butane canisters.
Oh my God! You know what is so funny? I was fucking looking for these because you told me you were going to bring them to me, and I had an event this weekend, and I was like, "Where are they?" Look, I had enough because we ended up doing one thing chilled.
Yeah,
because it was so hot.
So I figured. So these are these these like what tin cans of butane.
This is so funny.
A few different ones, and I was gonna give this to you, and I kept forgetting, but as I packed them to bring to you, and I was just like, wait a second. We spent so much of so much time in our lives handing things off to each other.
Yes.
And these are canisters to use to, one of those omelet stoves that you take.
Like it's a catering stove. Stove. I had an event. I just used them.
And so whenever we do an event, and we always bring these, and we're always passing stoves and canisters of gas back.
We really are.
And I always have like butane, which I probably shouldn't keep in the car.
No, you should not leave it in the car when it's 100 degrees.
I know. I didn't have it in the summer.
Okay, good.
And so I was like, I need to get this to you. And I was just like, you know what? I was just like, this reminded me of all of the like crazy shenanigans and all the random things we've passed between each other. So I was like, I'm going to give you some butane canisters.
On air. This is a true sign of our life. So yeah, I also love that these are these Korean butane canisters because I know exactly where these are from. Because I know that I bought these and gave them to you, and now you're giving them back to me.
If I went back and forth like 4 times.
There's no question, because they're from this $1 store on Myrtle Avenue.
But I do know you have other events where you need butane coming up.
Yes,
this
I do.
summer.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of events this summer. Yeah.
So perfect. So I wanted to give those to you.
Thank you so much.
This was a practical thing, not a gift.
So glad I finally have
But
one.
I had a kvel for you.
Okay.
So I was in Philly over the weekend, and our friend Ari Miller, a chef. He is someone I've sort of known him for most of his chef career. He is someone who was a journalist who started writing about food, and I met him when he was cooking in restaurants, and he's been in Philly for I don't know, 10 years, 12 years or so. And I've gotten to watch him. I watched him open one of his restaurants. I was there on like opening night. I was there like when it closed during COVID, and I've done events and stuff over the years. We did an event together just past December, this Hanukkah event. And he's been working and chefing at a restaurant called Post Haste in Fishtown in Philadelphia. And I got to go there for the first time. I got to go there for a proper dinner. And couple of things to point out. One is he's doing some really cool things, including having a pay what you can or what you want dinners on Sunday nights, 6 to 9.
I love that.
And I just like, first off,
I love that shit.
What I really appreciate about I love having friends in the food world and supporting them and going to their places. But when like Ari really embodies these values, he calls it relationship cuisine. He's like really close with all of his suppliers. He only brings really good quality ingredients, and he runs a kitchen that I would describe as a shtetl kitchen, in that like everything gets used really thoughtfully and creatively. So one of his signature dishes is this, they call it like a million layer lasagna, but he makes lots of pastas. He's become really good at pasta over the years. Pasta that he says has no Italian connection, and he like uses all the scraps to make this like layered lasagna that he uses all these like greens, and he has like this like cheesy green sauce, and then they actually deep fry this, like, so it's like this like square of lasagna that they slice, and it is so good. And I got to I mean,
wow,
they were doing some of the like like the trend, like the duvet dog, the kind of like pastry wrapped hot dogs, but this incredible duck breast, like it was unbelievable. And just an incredible meal. I was there with my partner Emma and some friends in Philly, And we just kind of sat down and just had like an unbelievable meal that was just, and I got to watch and see a friend's like, I could see his style that's developed over the years, kind of matured in this beautiful way. So it was just like a wonderful experience and great to see those values on display. And so I just like really wanted to share that with you. I really respected the meal and just like loved being there and loved seeing like the way that I've seen these foods evolve.
I love that. This is the definition of a kvel.
Yeah.
This is you being like, I'm kvelling.
Yeah.
Because you got to go to Ari's restaurant and you're like, I had to tell you.
Yeah. And also.
It's like you called me, you're like, I got to tell you about Ari. Yeah. Except you don't sound like that.
Yeah. Well, in a few years. The other thing I'll say is he makes like a chopped liver or like a liver pate. And I had talked to him about it because he was looking for ideas because he was using the yolks and not the whites. And I was like, well, guess what? In our cookbook, we did chopped liver deviled eggs. We did the yolks in the liver, and then we actually filled and we kind of made these beautiful deviled eggs.
I love those deviled eggs.
And so they have on their menu now these chopped liver deviled eggs.
Love.
And so I kind of love
nice.
that, it's like, and he's always like looking around for like interesting ideas. And so I was just like, way to go. Love seeing like a friend doing great work, serving amazing food, and and what a delight.
Such a delight. It makes me think, I've been saying I need to go to Philly. It's like, I should just go down for one night and go eat at that restaurant.
Yeah.
Do a little road trip night.
Yeah.
I never do things like that.
Go to Fishtown.
Right?
It's actually not that far when there's no traffic.
It's not easy. Far. It's like not a big deal. I should just do it.
I always say it's easier to get to Philly than to get to Washington Heights.
It's the same, at least the same distance. Jeffrey, we did it.
We did
it. Questions, kvels, shares, all of it. Here we are. And now we want to remind people that we love their questions. We want to get the questions. So please fill out the form, DM us, whatever it is. We want to hear what's on your mind. This show was produced by Felicia Reich, who, it is true, is from Florida. And welcome to our new associate producer, Pasha Toub. They love Sleepaway Camp.
And tell people about the show. It's the best way for us to grow. And please share the clips that are up at the Gefilteria Instagram page.
Take our answers out into your life and bring us back the leftovers.
This has been a podcast by Heeb Media.